Howdy, how you doing? My name is Carl Jones, otherwise known as Carl Jones, otherwise known as Topper the Clown, otherwise known as Dr. Topper or Dr. Tipper, Tiberius Topper, or Dr. 3T, or just call me anything. I'm pretty good with that. But I'm coming to you from Mesquite, Texas. That's an outskirt of Dallas, Texas. You might have heard of that. And this is a short but unique video. It's actually one of two. The second one will be coming in a month or two. We'll have to see how things go. But the purpose of this video, especially for those of you that have no idea why you're watching this, is to uh, tell you about some folks that have been incredibly helpful to our hospital clown troupe, our zaniologists. I'm going to put a link to them on the bottom of the screen, actually in the description, so that you'll be able to go to that. You don't have to write anything down, and you will find them to be very helpful. So we're going to talk about that, and let me just say that, no, it's okay. You got to look good for the camera. I'm just saying, you got to look good. Sorry, everybody wants to be a director, so very good. So I'm coming to you live from my office, such as it is here, the magic capital of Mesquite, Texas, here, um, because I was going to do a nice set and everything, but I'm having surgery, two major surgeries in 5 days. And to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of strength and endurance. So I wanted to get this done and get this out. And then after surgery and after I heal up, then by golly, we'll get the other one. But I have been a magician, an entertainer, a clown for a long, long time. And we officially formed our Zaniologist clown troupe. Uh, I have to look down to see exactly, but 8, 9 years ago, I guess. And we do that and have done it here in the Dallas area for quite some time. My very first experience as a hospital clown has been over 20 years ago. I would love to do more than I've had time to do, but now that I'm somewhat retired, um, because my company closed, no fault of mine, uh, I've had more time, and so I spend my time before COVID and before I got down with my neck and back, raising money and then doing that. So I'll be doing that again once I get healed up. So on Thursday, they're going to go in and go through the front of my neck to get to my spine, which is a little scary, and then flip me over like a pancake, the doc said, and do the back. And they're thinking I'll be in surgery for anywhere from 8 to 10, 11 hours. That'll be fun. So anyway, that's what's going on. Now, along the way, as a therapeutic clown, therapeutic entertainer, I have been blessed with some very good friends, some individuals, some magic, some clown people, and I said, you don't want to do something to pay you back, and I'm going to do a show. Um, I'm going to do a show at a local children's hospital, um, and I'm going to only use the things that I've gotten from you, through you. And then when I play the tape back, I'm going to put a time code and say, if you like that effect, that's so and so, and it came from this dealer, and here's the link that you click. So that's what was going to happen. Unfortunately, COVID hung on a little longer than we thought, and the hospital that I really want to do it at, local Dallas hospital, Children's Hospital, uh, said, we've got the campus shut down. And even though my way would not have had any contact at all with any staff member, kid, or anybody, they just felt like it would be better to wait. And I said, I agree. Okay, so we've waited, and well, now I've got the surgery to deal with, so we're going to have to get through that. And I think the timing will be really good. So when it's all said and done, we'll have another video that I'll be sending to you. In the meantime, I hope I'm going to be able to spark your interest and say some things that will encourage you to get in touch with some of these folks, because they all have a lot to bring to the table for therapeutic clowning or therapeutic entertaining, or for that matter, just your use in, if you like magic and clowning and stuff, in that. But the purpose of this is to expose you to people that have been very helpful to me and to those people that have clowned with me, and they've been very kind in their support of our clown efforts. Okay, now there are a number of them, and I thought, how am I going to do this? Because I don't want somebody saying, well, you put me first, you put me last, whatever. So I put them on a piece of paper and I mixed them up and I reached in and I pulled them out and I wrote their names down. So these are, as they say, in no particular order. Um, and I'm just going to go down the list and talk about them. As I said, the link to their stuff will be down below. So the first person I want to tell you about is a very kind fellow from Canada. His name is Christopher Taylor, and he has a company called Taylor Imagineering. And let me sum up what they do this way. If you liked Bond, James Bond, and you liked his toys and gadgets and stuff, Christopher's the guy to call. I have used several things from Christopher. Um, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're like, unless you're into magic and whatnot, and I know most of you watching this aren't, uh, he does things that you don't even know exist. Okay, uh, they are the finest in that category. He is the nicest guy. His customer service is unequaled, and I would I would just highly recommend him to you. So Taylor Imagineering, and when you see the actual show where I use the things that that I have from him, you'll see why I love him so much. It's like, wow, how did that happen? Christopher Taylor, Taylor Imagineering. The next person, this is kind of interesting. Before I started doing this full time, I was a certified financial planner. And every year I would bring in an entertainer from out of town to entertain my clients. And there was this one guy I really wanted to bring in. And so I brought him in only to find out after he came and left that, believe it or not, he was from the very same small town that my wife was from and her family. And his family knew her family. It was crazy. But Tom Burgoon is an amazing guy. He's funny. He does some stuff that nobody else does. Um, he he's a hoot and absolutely wowed the crowd. Uh, I'm gonna be in trouble if I say this about him and don't say it about other people, but I'm gonna run that risk because Tom's performed at the White House several times, uh, traveled extensively, and the unique thing about Tom, other than the fact he's a really nice guy and an incredible entertainer, is that I've told him this. He's amazing. The things that he has available that you'll see used in a show are so perfect for working hospitals. It's like, are you kidding me? He's got a list that it's amazing. I will say this because I wear a lanyard around my neck all the time because it gives me different things. This is one of his, and I would say to you, you know what this is? Let me pull it up there a little bit. You know what that is? Yeah, it's a shoe. Actually, it's a shoe horn. I know. I'm easily entertained, but that's just one of the things I forgot that I even had on me. But that's a really cool thing, and he's got tons of stuff. He's got uh, well, you'll see. But Tom Burgoon, great guy, funny, and really has a ton of stuff that's great for therapeutic work. Next is a company, one of the few companies that are full-blown companies as opposed to individuals. Uh, it's Penguin Magic, and my friend there is Sean. Penguin has just a ton of stuff. They're a full-blown magic dealer. Got great prices, great service, great service. They've been very kind to us, as all these people have. But they're great if you need videos because you can instantly watch them and download them and all. There's every kind of training in the world. So for things like that, they're absolutely great. Also for just general magic needs and categories, they're they're my recommendation for a full-blown magic store. So that's Penguin Magic, and Sean. Anybody there is great, but Sean's the guy that has helped me so much. I appreciate. I am. I'm really honored to call this guy friend. I met him a number of years ago when he came to Texas for the Texas Association of Magicians, and we hit it off. And I've been a huge fan of his ever since then. Silly Billy out of New York City, David Kay. Uh, David impressed me with everything. I mean, just everything. His material, his tricks, his track record. Excuse me. Some of the things that he had that were such a help to me. Uh, I remember specifically he has a book on what do kids mean. What do the kids really mean when they say, "I've seen that one before"? And like a lot of people, I hated to hear that. I hated to hear that. And then once I started hearing it after I read David's material and saw him and learned it, it's like, yeah, come on, say that again. So David Kay, the number one kids entertainer in New York, um, love him, appreciate him, a great guy, and really, really, well, everybody on here really, but David has some things that are uh, great if you're, new, and if you're not new, they're great too. Because like one of the things I'll just throw this in is that he does it on a car, and so when he goes to do a show, it fits in a box, and the box has to fit in the back of a New York City cab. That's the way it works. Doesn't fit the box, doesn't go. And so that helped me because I was one of those people that heard the phrase "Pax Light plays big" and never believed it and never could do it. My theory was if less is more, more is more. So I was carrying way too much stuff. I've scaled down thanks to David K. Silly Billy, and some of uh, his version, his take on some classic tricks is amazing. The quality is off the chart. Which again, like all these, you'll see in the show when we get that done. But in the meantime, go take a look at Silly Billy, my friend David Kay. Um, his list of clients is literally a who's who. And when you see the pictures of him and all these movie stars and their kids, and you read his stories, it's like, wow, I know somebody that has seen, a laundry list of movie stars. It's really cool. Next, we're going to go from New York City to Johannesburg, South Africa. I was honored and privileged to meet Trevor Duffy a number of years ago, and Trevor has such a unique personality. I love it. He's an incredibly skilled magician. He also does balloons. He also is a creator, inventor, aggregator. I'm not sure the best term to say, but he has some really cool stuff in general. But he has a smoke device you can actually use in the hospital. I know, hard to believe it, but when you check into that, you'll see why. Um, uh, it's pretty cool. So anyway, he has a lot of really neat stuff. He responds faster to email than people here in the U.S. sometimes. So I give Trevor my highest recommendation and my deepest thanks for the help that he has been. And believe it or not, it's not a far distance to Johannesburg, South Africa, by email. But I want to thank him. Uh, Next, this is a different area, but I've done this for many years and I love it. And there's plenty of opportunity to do this in hospitals. You just have to open your mind and um, just have some creativity. But the gentleman's name is Richard Osterland, and Richard is a mind reader, a mentalist. Has some incredible material, books and tapes and props and everything. And I'm here to tell you, you want to get somebody's attention, you do some of Richard's stuff. And that applies to kids as well as adults. Keep in mind, as I know, that those of you that have been doing this for a while, we're not there just for kids. We're there for kids and adults and staff and visitors and everybody. And it's great to have some of Richard's material on hand because You've got adults around all the time. You got stuff you can do with kids, and it's something they've never seen before. I guarantee you, you will never meet anybody that's seen anything that you can learn from Richard. Uh, the chances are 1 in a million, maybe higher. So he's got some great stuff. Um, and when you look at his site, and you're not going to see anything kiddie or uh, hospital related or anything like that. But trust me, if that kind of thing appeals to you, and it should, you drop him a note, tell him you're a friend of mine, and or drop me a note, whatever you want to do. I'll be glad to offer you some suggestions because he's got some stuff that will just it'll as they say fry him. It really will. And a great guy. He's been a good friend of mine, um, and I just encourage you to take a look at his website. Next, out of the box that I pulled out of the box, I should say, is Candu, Kandu, Candu Magic. My buddy is Jeff Eaton. Uh, they hold the distinction of being one of the most unique places and creators and inventors and performers out there you'll find. Jeff came up with some brilliant ideas and made them really first class, top quality. And like most of these folks, uh, you could do an entire show with just their stuff. Um, Brilliant stuff. I mean, stuff I've never seen anywhere else. And if Jeff's stuff is available anyplace else, I don't remember seeing it. So you want to take a look at Candu, Kandu, Candu Magic. Jeff makes the items first class, really funny stuff. And all of these people are on YouTube in some capacity or the other. You can Google them, YouTube them, and you'll see why I'm recommending them because they're all phenomenal, absolutely, positively phenomenal. Um, Next on the list is somebody. Oh, I'm sorry, my handwriting was terrible. Is my buddy David again from over there in Georgia. David was one of the people that I first heard about when I started doing more family entertaining, and fell in love with his stuff. Uh, Him and some other guys, but David is the one of that group that has been so kind and so generous so many times to our hospital clown group. When I traveled earlier in my life, I had a thing where when I went to a new town, I had to go to a magic store. Period. Everything revolved around that. And I always had to get something in one of the stores. I just wanted to. I didn't have to buy something expensive, but I wanted to get something. And I went to one in Memphis one day, and the only thing I could find that I didn't already have that I thought would be good was a book or a video. I'm sorry, it was a video, an old VHS of David, and the store was very proud of it, very proud. But I bought it, and I'm glad I did because off that tape I got one of my favorite jokes of all time. I use it in almost every show, whether it's kids or adults or anything else. And you'd like to know what that joke is, wouldn't you? David Ginn, Ginn. You want to look him up on the internet, and you'll hear that joke in the show. So stay tuned for the joke in the show after I yell it. But David has a, a library of material that he's produced over the years that's just like, oh my gosh, uh, it's phenomenal. David and Yen and David Ketty, Silly Billy, both have written books that are like 2 or 3 inches thick that I can barely pick up with my back and neck in the condition it's in, but they are truly textbooks on how to do family entertaining. If you didn't get but one of the two, that's all you'd need for the rest of your life. Yeah, I know it's that amazing. Both of them combined are just, they're like a PhD level education. But David is an incredible guy, a great performer, a wonderful man, an amazing inventor, and just one of those people you just need to check out. David Yen from over in the Georgia area. Um, a fellow that doesn't have a lot of stuff, but what he has is like way cool. his name is Brother Paul West down in Florida, and he was very kind to me. I explained the situation regarding one of the things that he had that I really liked, and he was kind and helped me in the situation, and I appreciated that. And so I want to encourage you to look him up, Brother Paul West. Um, he's not my brother; that's his name, Brother Paul West. Great guy, and he has a particular trick I love, which is great for hospital or just normal shows. Um, that is pretty cool. It's called the stupid bean trick. And I'm mentioning that where I don't mention a lot of other tricks for other people because I just love the name. And when you Google him and watch his YouTube videos, he's a little older than some of the presentations he's got on YouTube, but you'll see why it is so effective. I feel like I'm pretty good at playing stupid because I've done that naturally and theatrically for so long. But he just when I saw that, it just sold me. I love it, and he's a great guy. Like all the guys and gals on here, he's a great guy. You can trust him, and you'll see the trick in the show after surgery. That's Brother Paul West, an amazing inventor. Next, and a great guy, and somebody that is just totally wacky. But his name's Barry Mitchell, and Barry has helped us with our clown group a number of times in many ways. He's been to town. Uh, I've hired him to entertain my financial planning clients several years ago. The list of things Barry comes up with is phenomenal. He also wrote several incredible books that are like the how-to manual of doing what we do. Um, Wrote one on do-it-yourself, putting stuff together yourself, and that's just that's a must-have book like all these others. But that one will save you a lot of money, and it will also open your eyes to a lot of things. But he is really, really good. He also really is great in terms of storytelling and ditties and songs, and he'll have a theme. He loves to do themes, and he'll do some pretty amazing stuff. So uh, everybody on here does the same kind of thing in that it's entertaining, but they each have their own little spots like a clock, and each of them are their own number on the clock. And Barry Mitchell is somebody that you definitely want to take a look at. Barry Mitchell, he's in Tennessee, and go to his website, you'll love it. One of his friends is Tim Sonnefeld, and one of the great things about Tim is that A, he's a great guy, and B, he's really helped us. But Tim is the source for any custom, they're called silks, but you think of them as handkerchief. If you have a message you want on one or whatever, Tim's the guy can put it on there for you. He's also invented a lot of great tricks. He's been very kind to us. Um, and it's very much appreciated. But he's got some great, great stuff. Now, I said it a while ago, but you know the old adage is packs light, plays big. And if you don't know what that means, it means you want it to pack light so you don't have to carry a heavy box, but you want it to play big. And it's long been thought and known that using silks, handkerchiefs, if you will, is a great idea because they're big, they're colorful, and they don't weigh anything. So that's very good. Tim has a lot of that. He's got a lot of great ideas he's come up with. I'm proud to call him a friend and a supporter, and I just definitely, definitely appreciate him. Um, One of the greatest things in my life, was when I became a clown, thanks to a good friend of mine, and was in a group that taught you how to do it. Not really, but they tried, and I appreciate them. But then I discovered professional clown training, and when I found Mooseburger Clown Camp in Minnesota, my life changed. Uh, the owner, a friend of mine, her real name's Tricia, but her clown name with Ringling Brothers was Priscilla Mooseburger. Uh, if you have any interest in clowning, you need to be in touch. I went a couple of years in the summer. My daughter went. Some of my best memories of my daughter, who's now 36, uh, were from the experiences we had clowning together. Um, Priscilla does custom design clothes that are second to none. Um, she's just phenomenal. When we would go to camp, um, she brought in some of the who's who of the who's who from Ringling Brothers, and I was blessed to be able to study with Frosty Little. He was the last remaining master clown from Ringling Brothers before he passed away. Chuck Sidlow, uh, just phenomenal talent in and of himself. Mark Renfro, who was in charge of makeup for Ringling, and I believe the Gold Unit, I believe in Japan or someplace, redesigned my clown face when I wear makeup. Uh, and an incredibly funny guy, and really, really helped me a lot because he had a lecture called uh, um, the Gentle Art of Doing Nothing. The Gentle Art of Doing Nothing, and it's because so many of us as entertainers are over the top, at least some of us. And he said, you can just be there. And it's the gentle art because you're just sitting there being calm of doing nothing. But you're doing something because you're entertaining the kids. And in hospitals, hey, how much of a better phrase is that? So, Mark Renfro is not on the list because he doesn't have a website or anything, but you can reach him through Priscilla. But Mark and his lecture, The Gentle Art of Doing Nothing, uh, inspired me to do mine, a lecture, and a lecture just a word for stand up talking, really. And I did one called The Fine Art of Silly Chit Chat. Because if you want to pack light and play big, what's lighter than just the air in your lungs and the thoughts in your head? And so I took Pack Light and Play Big to a different point, different level, and I have given it a lecture many times and love it. And it's basically what you do when you meet somebody before anything happens. They've seen you, and then you usually have some verbal exchange with them before they see you perform. So before you get to any of these great tricks and props, they're going to have seen you and heard you. Excuse me. And as a result, um, I love that, and I want to thank Mark for doing what he did that inspired me to do that because it absolutely is what people comment on as much or more than they comment on anything else that I do. I know it's hard to believe, but anyway, that's on there. Next, before we get going, let me just say we need to pause for a news brief. I know I love that one. I love that one. And yeah, that's underwear. It looks like underwear. You knew? Okay, you knew that. I'm sorry. Never mind. Anyway, the last person on the list um, actually made my hat. Her name is Karen Bell, and I met her through Priscilla, and she was a Ringling Clown. And Karen makes these hats, different sizes, different colors. This is my fifth one, going back a number of years. I'm hard on hats because I wear them all the time. And when I'm really clowning a lot, it's hot, they get dirty. I just bring them home and wash them. You're not really supposed to do that. They're not made for it, but I figure I'll wear it out, I'll get another one. But Karen's been a great friend and a great help for many years. Um, and she's a great person. I hired her to come to town to entertain my clients as well. And you know, when you're putting people like um, um, Karen and um, Barry Mitchell and some others that have come to town in front of your adult financial planning clients and their children's entertainers, you know they got to be good. But they wowed them. They wowed them and entertained them, and it was just amazing. Karen is a unique performer. She's not just an amazing person. She's not just an amazing hat maker. As a performer, she is good. She's very, very good. Um, and like all the people on here, I love them. Um, I hope that this short video has been of some use to you. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in going to look at any of the links. You will benefit enormously. You also should know that um, if things go well, we'll do the show and the second video with all these folks and props in a few months. But that doesn't mean you can't go get stuff now. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me. I'll tell you what I know and what I think, and we'll go from there. So, with that said, I thank you for watching this, or part of it, or all of it, or whatever. I'd encourage you to send it to anybody that you think might be interested in doing therapeutic entertaining, clowning, or whatever, um, and we'll have a good time. Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you, and see you later from Dallas, Texas.